All right, item 1.0 on the agenda is additions to the agenda. I have something to propose, and that is under 6.3, community update regarding the Fort McMurray evacuation. With that, could I get a motion to add item 6.3 to the agenda? Councillor Bossert, all in favor? It is carried. Could I get a motion to adopt the agenda as amended? Councillor Schuler, all in favor? That is carried. Item 3.0, corrections or amendments to the April 20th, 2016 regular meeting of council minutes. Councillor Bossert has something.
Thank you, Your Worship. The only correction I found was at 9.4 for administration, just a sentence that says, Mr. Russell updated council on activities within the communications and marketing. So that sentence actually doesn't make a lot of sense. Regards could be changed to regards to communication and marketing, or some similar changing of wording.
I think I'll just ask Madam Secretary to take that under advisement for future minute construction. Under 3.2, May 4th, 2016 special meeting of council minutes. Any corrections or amendments there? All right. Could I then get a motion to adopt the April 20th, 2016 regular meeting of council minutes and the May 4th, 2016 special meeting of council minutes? Councillor Nadeau, all in favor? That is carried. 5.0 is proclamations. We have two proclamations this morning. First one is Public Works Week, National Public Works Week. Whereas public works infrastructure, facilities, and services are of vital importance to sustainable communities, and to the health and safety and well-being of the people of the town of Drayton Valley, and whereas such facilities and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees from provincial and local government and the private sector, who are responsible for and who plan, design, build, operate, and maintain the transportation, water supply, water treatment, public buildings, structures, and facilities, and who deliver solid waste services which are essential to serve our community. Whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the community to gain knowledge of and to maintain an interest and understanding of the importance of public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff public works departments is materially influenced by people's attitudes and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Now therefore, I, Glenn McLean, Mayor of the Town of Drayton Valley, do hereby proclaim May 15th through 21st, 2016 as National Public Works Week in the Town of Drayton Valley, and I call upon all citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works, and to recognize the contributions which public works officials and employees make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. Next proclamation is for Hearing and Speech Month. Whereas the Elks of Canada boast a long and proud history of advocating for early hearing detection and continue to pursue ways to assist in screening and intervention services for all children born in Canada. Whereas newborn hearing screening and early access to intervention services are vitally important to effective treatment and development of language and speech. And whereas assistance is needed to coordinate early hearing detection and intervention programs in Canada through consultation and partnerships with qualified professionals in the area of hearing and speech impairment. And whereas the Elks endorse May as Hearing and Speech Month in Canada and have designated the first Saturday in May as Public Information Day, now therefore I, Glenn McLean, Mayor of the Town of Drayton Valley, do hereby proclaim May 2016 as Hearing and Speech Month, and Wednesday, May 18th, 2016 shall be known as Public Information Day in the Town of Drayton Valley. All right, item 6.0, we have delegations. 6.1, Jen Lundy and Christian Orr, update on the Omniplex Total Works Mackenzie Center. Welcome.
Morning, Council. Thank you for having me this morning. Just wanted to drop by and just go over a couple of things and give you an update at the Omniplex Mackenzie Conference Center and Total Works Health Fitness. We do have our reception center there, but today I'm not speaking on that unless you have questions. But anyway, as you're aware, Total Works is currently undergoing renovations in the facility. To date, both the squash courts have had all the walls, ceilings cleaned, new baffles hung in one court, and rubber flooring. New equipment arrived and has replaced the outdated equipment and has provided a safer option for our gym members. The one squash court with the new baffles, has been turned into a programming area. Still to come, our new change area and shower in the ladies' bathroom, painting, wall imaging, and refinishing of the squash court floors. Members are now also enjoying options of programming and personal training, which seems to be becoming quite popular. The Mackenzie Conference Center held its annual bridal fair and fashion show in February, and plans are already underway for this year's Jingle Balls. Staff currently are working with our CETC to bring in other events, conferences, and workshops to our area. With the economic pressures, staff are looking outside the box to fill the dates, and likewise, options of keeping costs of the facility low are also being looked at. The Omniplex has had a good ice season. Our junior Thunder hockey team made it into the playoffs, but sadly were knocked out. Figure skating held their annual ice carnival. Minor hockey over and above their annual hockey tournaments hosted provincials this year, and our midget 3 team brought home the gold in the 1660 League, putting Drayton Valley on the map. What else? We received our new Olympia ice resurfacer, of which staff are over the moon about. Probably Kirsten can attest to that. Over the Easter, we worked with our user groups, and we did a really big clean out of all the lockers and areas there, and working with the user groups, they were fantastic. They did a fantastic job, and so the tunnels are all cleaned up and kind of organized and looking really great. We've been working with Denny, our safety coordinator, towards additions and changes and improvements to our safety in the facility. Recently, we had OH&S tour our facility as they're wanting to work with the pools and recreation in the province and ensuring that there's safety in the facilities. So our inspector that we toured around with was really impressed with our facility. We were able to ask some of the questions that we wanted with some of the improvements we were wanting to make, so it was great having him there, and yeah, he was impressed, so we were happy, he was happy, so it was all good. So we've made a good connection, so we'll be keeping in touch with him as we move along. We also did some renovations to our Omni 2 penalty box, something that was really needed. Old wiring and items that no longer were in use, we removed them, a new countertop installed, and the wall opened up, giving better access to opening and closing the doors to the penalty box, and a new heater was installed and a grate to protect it. So, and as well, painting has started throughout the facility, and staff are working on maintenance improvements. The dirt is in Omni 1, and Pro Rodeo was a huge success again. Tying into the Pro Rodeo, our facility hosted the first chili cook-off fundraising. I saw many of you out there enjoying the chili, which seemed to have a great turnout. We also put on a farm and ranch trade show, and the Thunder hosted a rodeo dance as part of the fundraiser for their group, so it was a good weekend for the community. And then last I'd like to do is a piece of good news, and I wanted to share with you, is an award that was won by one of our Omniplex staff, and I'm so very proud and pleased to introduce to you our Operator 1, Kirsten Orr. She won the Alberta Association Recreation Facility Personnel Top Mark Award. She actually got 100% on her Operator 1 course, and she was the only student selected this year for the award, and she was presented the award at the 2016 RFP conference banquet in Drumheller. And she also won a free registration to the conference, and she was able to network, and she already brought back many great ideas that we're going to try and implement as well. So I'm very proud of her accomplishment and just wanted to share it with all of you today. So Kirsten, if you wanted to come up, she also brought her award to just show you. So.
Oh, very good.
Good morning, Council. It's great to be here. I really enjoy working here, and I thank everybody for the opportunities that I've received. And I had a great time at the conference and learned a lot and got to meet a lot of cool people, and it was really exciting. So it was a great opportunity. Thank you.
Well, Kirsten, it's Kirsten, right? Not
Yes.
I've been saying Kristen, and I apologize.
Okay.
But, town council and administration, we appreciate and value the success that we see throughout the community, and that includes our own employees. So we have just a little token of our esteem and appreciation for you. Wonder if we can get a photo. Seems like a good opportunity for a photo. So could I invite council to quickly join me here? We'll have a photo with Kirsten, and I'll present her with this. It's been said that we don't celebrate our own successes often enough, and this is a great opportunity to do just that. So thank you, and thank you, Jen, for your presentation. Did council have any questions of Jen? No? Very good. Thanks so much. 6.2, Lola Strand is going to give us the FCSS annual report.
Good morning.
Morning.
There we go. Okay, I'm hoping that technology does not fail me. I always get nervous about these things, though. So yes, I'm here to present with you the FCSS annual report. Okay, I should have said that. Did you do that or did I? You did that? Should I just say next slide? Okay. Okay, so in 2015, FCSS served 13,752 people. They were served by 37 programs. Yeah, it's not going to work. Next, please. The operating budget in 2015 was approximately $377,500. The town of Drayton Valley contributed just over $36,500 in addition to the $158,000 provincial grant. This included a provincial increase of $11,000, which was carried over into 2016 grant funding. Brunswick County contributed just over $27,000 in addition to the $116,000 provincial grant that they received. This included a provincial increase of $8,000, which was also carried over into 2016 grant funding. That's because that provincial increase was not allocated in our budget. We were allowed to actually carry that forward, which is not the norm for FCSS funding. So, but in that case, we were allowed to carry that forward. Parkland County contributed their regular $7,000 in addition to the $28,000 provincial grant that they received. As far as non-FCSS funds go, we continue to use the funds that were granted to us by the Alberta Rural Development Network for homelessness and poverty reduction strategy. So preventative social programs, as you know, is our mandate. In 2015, Drayton Valley District FCSS delivered 29 in-house programs and services and provided funding for 10 programs offered by 9 different nonprofit organizations within the community. This is just a total of the seniors programs. As you know, our Alive 55 program is our largest program. We actually hit the 1,000 member mark just at the end of 2015. Along with that, the Alive 55 program, of course, is the walking track and the arthritic exercise class and the strength training and whatnot. Aside from those programs, we also do several other programs for seniors, the Seniors Tea, a variety of different other programs, the snow removal program for seniors. So in total, we served 1,343 seniors. We did survey those seniors. 85% of seniors surveyed said that the Alive 55 program has helped them to feel a sense of belonging to the community and that they have formed new relationships with people. 91% said that the Alive 55 program has helped them to feel good about themselves, and 94% said that they know more about how to access the community resources that they need. And that's just a quote from our FCSS board member saying that he's spoken to seniors who have said that our program is unlike any other program that's offered by any other community, and they may in fact have left the community if not for our program. So that says a lot. We do preventative social programs for adults, our Making Financial Sense program, volunteer income tax program, parenting after separation, and we did a free money party this year. In total, we served 324 adults. 98% of Making Financial Sense program participants said that they are able to make better financial choices since taking the program. And just of note, over 1,000 people have been through that program since its inception in 2007. And just a quote there from a participant saying that, thanking us for offering the workshops and saying that we've learned so much and will utilize these services and pass it on to family and friends as well. Preventive social programs for children, youth, and families. We support the Canadian Tire Jumpstart program, the Making Financial Sense program in the schools, Halloween Haunted House, and of course Canada Day. So in total we served 4,303 children, youth, and families. 96% of 116 people surveyed said that they are more aware of the resources in the community because of attending the haunted house. And just to note that, not to toot my own horn, but just to show again the importance of FCSS in communities, even if it's not an FCSS program. So just a quote from the Canadian Tire store manager, which came with a nomination for myself for a provincial award with the Jumpstart program. He said that I had gone above and beyond to provide support and information to the community, allowing all to participate. With myself as a community partner, we will be able to take Jumpstart to new heights in Drayton Valley. So just, the importance again of FCSS supporting those things and making sure that they're successful, even if it's not our own program. Volunteers, of course, are very important. We really realize the value of volunteers. We do provide a variety of different workshops and opportunities for volunteers to learn new skills that will make their job hopefully easier. Being a volunteer in our community, we also recognize volunteers at our annual FCSS Volunteer Appreciation Banquet. Just some stats, 330 people volunteered just for FCSS programs in 2015. They volunteered 2,563 hours. Using the 2013 Alberta Occupational Average Hourly Rate, the value of those hours is $68,842.18. So that's really significant. So among those programs that we offer for volunteers, and also just in terms of community development, Aboriginal awareness training, fundraising and grant writing workshop, board development workshop, the Volunteer Appreciation Banquet, of course, and we also provide support to individuals and organizations to complete grant applications. So 96% of 27 people surveyed said that they were more confident in their ability to serve the community since attending the fundraising grant writing workshop. Information and referral, we do try to ensure that people know where to access the resources that they need. Therefore, we developed the FCSS Community Resource Directory. In 2015, 10,000 copies were distributed between the spring and the fall editions. Aside from that, we are a referral service, and we're often the first point of contact for folks who don't know where to go for help. In 2015, we provided information to individuals on available services and resources on 5,380 different occasions. As you know, we're also a granting body. The FCSS board supported local preventative social programs by granting $95,228 to eligible organizations, which served 1,598 individuals and 143 families. And I won't go through that whole list. How am I doing for time? I was told I had 10 minutes, so I'm trying to whip through it. Just some stats from our homelessness and poverty reduction program, funded by the ARDN. The total number of unique clients in 2015 was 84. The number of dependents attached to those clients were 31. The instances of gift cards assistance was 76. The instances of shelter assistance, whether that be through providing a hotel room or the community MAP program, was 44. And aside from those, just plain information and referrals were 78. And 22 people volunteered to supervise the community MAP program in 2015, which is significant because they're overnight shifts. So for 22 people to offer that kind of time is really important. Aside from all of that, we also work to ensure that the community is working together between local groups, organizations, businesses, and government. We work with the community to raise awareness about community needs and find appropriate solutions. So oftentimes we're involved in different coalitions, gathering folks around the table and trying to make sure that they're working to meet the needs of the community. So among those groups are the Homelessness and Poverty Reduction Team, the Healthy Community Coalition, Community Parenting Coalition, the Rotary House Tenants, the Canadian Tire Jumpstart Program Steering Committee, and the Drayton Valley Comprehensive Family Violence Institute. And again, just not to toot my horn or anything, but I just wanted to include that I was nominated by the community, thank you, Annette, and community members, for an award of merit, which was awarded to me in November by the Family and Community Support Services Association of Alberta. I know it was in recognition of my dedication to the community. However, I can't say how much it's really dependent. Any success that I have is really dependent on all the awesome community members and coworkers and whatnot that I have around me, because FCSS is certainly not a job that you can do alone. You need the support of everyone around you. So yeah. This is just a little snapshot, again, of our strategic goals going forward for the next 5 years. I only included just a snapshot on here. What I did include, just for your information in your agenda packages, what was the longer plan. You'll also notice that I've included several program logic models. That is an attachment to our strategic plan. That's our working documents. That's the documents that we use to identify with the programs that we're doing what our outcomes are that we're trying to achieve, with the strategies around how we're going to achieve those, and the measures of which we're going to use to actually measure those outcomes. And that's the work that we do to then report onto the province. So our goal is to eventually have, not really our goal, the expectation is that all of our programs and services will fall under those program logic models. So I don't want to go through them because obviously it's a lot, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask me at any point in time about those. And that's it.
Thank you very much. That was, you covered a lot of ground in a very short time. And the thing about your award, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's just another of the successes that that we need to celebrate and recognize. So well done. And as you rightly pointed out, of course, FCSS can't do its work without meaningful collaboration with a variety of other agencies, and
Exactly.
you do that very well in the community. I have one question, then I'll open it to council if they have any questions or comments. Earlier in 2015, in fact, council had requested the Healthy Communities Coalition, of which you are a part, to assist us in a public engagement piece over alcohol in the community, presence of liquor stores, etc. All of that, of course, is designed to elicit the input of the community and to gauge appropriate, attitudes towards the existence, location, availability of alcohol in the community. The point of it, and I say this for the media present, the point of it is to assist council in drafting or revisiting its land use bylaw. We have had challenges over the last couple of years with respect to matters associated with certain permits that have been applied for. We look forward to the results of the public engagement piece that the Healthy Communities Coalition is going to undertake. And I know that they've established a working group. Are you a part of that working group?
Yeah, I am part
okay.
of that working group, and
All
yes,
right.
we are working on the dinner and dialogue,
Right.
which is happening the 26th of this month. So
That was my question.
It's-
All of that big long preamble?
yeah,
That
it's
was
the
my
20
question.
It's the 26th.
How's that
of this
going?
month.
Yeah,
Yes,
good.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that
Okay.
is going forward. It will be happening at the Mackenzie Center.
Okay.
Jessica and Dana have the lead on that. However, they did distribute the invitations, and what we're really trying to do is their invitations to this dinner and dialogue, because we want to ensure that we're actually getting input from every different sector of the community, whether it be young adults, youth, seniors, multicultural folk, professionals. So
Some
we have
related business owners, presumably,
business owners,
too.
yes, they're included in that too. So each of us on that committee has been tasked with inviting or ensuring that there's a certain population of people that are actually attending that. So at the end of that dialogue, we can say that we've got, input from a broad piece of the community, not just one specific. So,
Right,
So
of
yeah.
course.
So
So that's
So
May 26th.
yeah, it's May
Okay.
26th. Yeah.
Good.
Yep. And again, and all the survey information that I gave you too, that's a lot about what outcome measurement is about too, is actually getting input from the community, not just, reporting on a program and saying, okay, we had, 100 participants participate at the workshop. But it's the so what, like what did that do for people? How did people, did it increase their skills or their knowledge or their capacity once they were done? So are we actually meeting the objectives that we set out to do? So, so yeah, that community engagement piece is really important.
Yeah. We certainly value the work that you do and FCSS's role in all of that. So I'll open it to questions or comments from council. Councillor Bossert.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, Lola. Thanks for
Morning.
coming in. What a lot of work in putting just the presentation together, the year-end report. I know it takes many, many hours for you and your staff. And when I look at the logic models that have been laid out before us, I see that no matter what program we're working on with FCSS, and there are many, they're well thought out, they're strategic, they have a purpose in our community, and our outcomes, our measured outcomes prove that they are meeting needs in our community, and I'm really grateful for that. Whenever I am in another community for another purpose as a counselor and get to talk about some of the programming in our community as it relates to FCSS. I am always more than thrilled to mention some of the programs that we run and how they impact our community. And to see some of the numbers today, particularly numbers like the ones for Making Financial Sense, which is a very unique program. I've never seen anything like it in my travels, and how many people access that and have, 96% say that they go away feeling like they can manage their finances with better education. And the program for the MAP program, the numbers there, I just know that you and your team and the partners you've gathered around you are making a difference in our community. And like I say,
and you were one of those, so thank you very much.
I quite enjoy being involved with a number of those different programs with or without my council hat on. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, the work that you put into FCSS in the community and the hours that you put into it after hours, because you care so much for the community. So I just wanted to thank you. I was present when you received your award, and you're more than worthy of receiving such an honor, because you are a real jewel in our community. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anything else, Council? Okay. Thanks so much.
Okay, thanks.
All right, item 6.3, community update regarding the Fort McMurray fire and the ensuing evacuation. Dennis, welcome.
Thank you. Your Worship, councillors, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm sure you guys are used to seeing Fire Chief Tom Thompson in front of you folks concerning safety and emergency matters, but since the activation of Emergency Coordination Center, he now reports to me. Karma's a wonderful thing.
Keep that thing going as long as you can, right?
I'd like to start off by saying I think the province of Alberta has truly seen something remarkable, and to actually witness the disaster that's happening up in Fort McMurray right now is unprecedented in our province's history. The sheer evacuation of 100,000 people from that area, again, is the likes of which this country has not really seen. We all remember watching the videos of people driving through embers as they're falling down, something truly out of one of the movies that you could see in Hollywood. Remarkable indeed. But even more amazing than that is how this community has come together and grouped together to welcome the evacuees that we have received. The flood of phone calls that we're receiving for assistance, for donations, for money is just, it's truly remarkable to witness that, especially when you hear our motto is pulling together. This community truly has pulled together. With that, I would like to say that this is also probably our largest activation of our emergency management system that we have ever seen in the town of Drayton Valley. And even though we were working on our systems and our infrastructure for emergency management, we were not exactly 100% prepared for what happened. With that said, however, I would like to say that our Emergency Coordination Center has stepped up. Everybody has taken on the roles of our new model and organization and has truly ran away with it. So I would like to take some time just to say thank you to the members of that group who have truly done a wonderful job in working that, specifically Ms. Dreesen, who's unfortunately not here right now. But I would like to especially extend a huge thank you to her, who has truly gone above and beyond in our Emergency Coordination Center, working with the community to get this program running. So, on to some interesting stuff, such as numbers. As of 8 p.m. yesterday, the town of Drayton Valley has officially registered 255 evacuees from Fort McMurray. We suspect that there's probably approximately another 50 or so that have not officially come into our reception center and registered, or are currently living with friends or family that have not registered within our community. Currently, no one is staying overnight at our reception center at the Omniplex, but we suspect this to change very soon as the insurance money that these individuals have received for hotel rooms and whatnot will most likely run out. We expect this to be a long haul for these evacuees. So we are basically standing up and getting ready to receive these individuals at our reception center as their insurance runs out or as other accommodations, the goodwill that is wonderful from the hotels eventually must come to an end. And we're getting ready to set up for that and receive those individuals and make sure that they have a place to go. Our reception center currently has 100 cots on hand. They're set up in our Omni 3 pad. We're ready to receive these individuals. We were expecting a few in the past few days, but things have changed as they do hourly. But we are ready for that, as we have an additional 200 on order in case that the unexpected happens and everybody comes to our reception center at once. On the trail of that, we recognize that this is only a very short-term solution. We have implemented and starting up building our what we call Mini-Mac. Basically set up a housing trailer system at the rodeo grounds near the Omniplex, where we're going to be able to house individuals on a more permanent basis. We're quite pleased with the speed that this was built, and this includes full sanitary systems, water systems, power systems on their own. So all that has been set up. On the tail of that, we recognize that these individuals will need to get around, because some of them do not have modes of transportation. So again, thank you, Annette. She has worked diligently to set up a bus system within the town of Drayton Valley with the bus routes and stops where people will be able to drive to the hospitals, to the grocery stores, to the pharmacies, and get the needs and amenities that they require. Willows was amazing at the initial onset of our of the incident. They opened up their doors to donations, and I think they were overwhelmed as well with what came in. And however, they've done an amazing job at receiving some of the goods, and we thank them dearly for that. Likewise, now they have kind of downshifted their operations, and the goods have been switched over to the thrift store for clothing and other home necessities. Indigo Pets has taken on all the pet supplies to make sure that they can distribute that kind of material for the animals. And the food bank has also taken on all the food goods, non-perishable food goods that can be distributed through them as well. We've set up a 24-hour phone number with the assistance of intercom messaging, which allows us to answer any calls 24 hours a day should there be a need. We have individuals on call who then this message would get transferred to make sure that nobody's left outside in the middle of the night. Currently at our reception center, we have Service Canada, Alberta Health Services, Cooperators Insurance, and the Chamber of Commerce all manning stations to assist with the evacuees at the reception center. Our ESS section, or we use a lot of TLAs, let me expand that out. Our Emergency Social Services section, which is what Ms. Dreesen is heading up, is constantly on the phone with the Provincial Operations Center, specifically in regards to the 13 reception centers throughout Alberta, and they're constantly talking about the logistics of how all the products will be working and how the evacuees will be assisted. Commencing this evening, we're going to have commercial or radio spots, which are going basically sending out the message to the town of Drayton Valley, firstly and foremost, thanking them for all the hard work that they have done, but also to let them know that if they wish to continue to contribute, we are pushing towards Red Cross, as well as the food bank and the Chamber of Commerce. So they have the options as to where they wish to donate. And lastly, I'd like to thank you folks, the Council of Drayton Valley, for the support that you've given us, especially the management team for the Emergency Coordination Center, to assist us to get the job done and let us do what it is that we can do for these individuals. As well as I'd like to extend a thank you to Brunswick County, who has sent a liaison officer for any assistance that we may require. So we'd like to thank them at all. And I'd like to sit here and reassure Council that we are taking each and every step humanly possible to ensure the safety and the comfort of the evacuees, which are now our evacuees, and they are now members of our community, and we'll take care of those and make sure that nobody's left out. It is our top priority. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dennis. You're absolutely right. They are our evacuees. They are currently members of our community. And our community has really given our evacuees a big hug. And the outpouring of support, logistical and otherwise, has been extraordinary. It's very heartwarming. But as you pointed out, I think we all need to bear in mind this could very well be a protracted event. The mindset of the individuals, the evacuees, and indeed our community will evolve over time as challenges are faced and overcome. Patience is will have to reign throughout the process. So well done on the part of the Emergency Coordination Center. Everyone, you've acknowledged Annette's considerable contributions and those of her department in this process, and that'll be critical going forward as well. So thank you. Council, any comments, questions? Councillor Bossert.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for coming in, Dennis. One of the aspects that you didn't mention, although so much has been brought forward for our new residents, and I as a councillor can't be more proud of our area, our citizens here. In the number of evacuees, approximately 250 to 300, I'm sure we have school-age kiddos. And I'd like to know if you have anything to share with the community about what are we doing for the children who really do still have 5-6 weeks of school left. What can we do for those children and for their families?
Thank you for your question, Councillor. We have reached out to the district school boards and asked them what their capacities are as far as receiving children and enrolling these children in the school programs to finish off their year. We were assured by all the school boards, both public and private, that they will not turn away any children. They'll make accommodations for them, and we will get these individuals completing their school year.
All right. Thank you. Councillor Nadeau.
Thanks, Denny. I just wanted to say thank you for all your hard work. I grew up in Fort McMurray. It's hard to see your community, that you have your memories, huge memories. I was there for 14 years before moving away, and just want to thank you for everything that you're doing and our community, because it goes a long way. I have friends that I grew up with that have lost their homes, and I have some that their homes aren't touched. So it's a full spectrum, but they're all going through kind of the same amount of stress and trauma, really, because they all had to do that mass exodus and not knowing what they would leave. So it's extended into mental health. There's so many ripple effects from this event. So I appreciate all the resources that are being put forward from our community members, and I just want to thank everybody for all their hard work and their kindness, because it goes a long way.
I'll pass the message on. Thank you.
Anything further? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
All right. Item 7.0, public time. Do we have any questions, comments, concerns from the public? Pardon me? Oh, thank you. At this time, we'll acknowledge our two mentees from the Women in Leadership program. And so I'll ask the mentors to introduce their mentees, and then we'll move on to the decision items. Go ahead.
Sure. My mentee is Morgan, and she's grown up here in Drayton Valley and currently attends the Outreach School. And we've been meeting monthly, talking about what we do in the community as counselors and just what we do as citizens in the community, being role models. So she's been wonderful to work with, and I guess we're coming to a close at the end of this month, I believe. But yeah, she's done very well. I'm very proud of her.
Do you have any questions, comments? How much do you love public speaking? There's no obligation. Councillor Bossert?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And my young lady is Autumn Hall. She's up there with Pam and Morgan. Autumn and I have been able to do a number of things together, including going to the IAM conference that was held in March, seems like eons ago, and enjoyed that day together very much. And we've been able to sit down once or twice for visits, and including time just for her to share with me her experiences working with her other mentors, which would be a businesswoman in the community and Emily Hickman from our homelessness and poverty reduction team and the MAP program. So Autumn has been able to be involved in a number of very diverse things in the community. She's a sweet young thing that I met when she was all of 6 and was a sewing student way back when. So it's really been quite interesting to reconnect with her after probably 10 years or so. And I think with her determination and a good, strong spirit within her, she will go places. And I think she's looking forward to finishing school this year and taking the next steps. And I've really enjoyed my time working with you, Autumn. So glad you're a part of the program.
So welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for participating in the Women in Leadership program. And I hope you found it, or are finding it, fulfilling and informative as you prepare to step out into the wide world and take your place. Hopefully it will provide just that much more background and information to help you become a more informed citizen and take an active role in your community. So that's good. Thanks so much for being here. We'll move on to the decision items. 8.1, Councillor, I want to say too, in my package, items 8.3 through 8.5 and the inside the package, the backgrounders all say Councillor Wheeler on it. Yep, she's got the big red S today. But we're going to go on the basis of the stated agenda, which is rather more democratically distributed. So we'll start with 8.1. Councillor Long.
Thank you. Administration has recommended approval of the 2016 final fee schedule for the town of Drayton Valley as presented May 4th, 2016. Council has been asked to approve the fee schedule for the town of Drayton Valley. So I move that Council approve the updated 2016 final fee schedule for the town of Drayton Valley as presented.
Thank you very much, Councillor Long. Any question, any comments from administration, from Kevin or anybody?
Yeah, there really weren't any significant changes from the interim budget. Just a couple grammatical updates and minor tweaks to agree the schedule to the other sections.
I just didn't want you to feel ignored. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, any discussion on the motion? Oh, sorry, Councillor Frederickson. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was just looking it over. On this current fee schedule, there's still a tanning package, and I think we were discussing about removing those tanning beds with that renovation that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had 2 other ones. I was just wondering if this fee schedule, I recall last year some discussion regarding cemetery plots. Was that addressed in the last fee schedule, or I think we were talking about increase or no? As well as airport hangars, was there any changes to that? Because that was another point of discussion.
All right. Kevin, did you have any comments there?
Yes. Airport hangars, we are phasing increase over 2 years to get them up to market rates. I'd need to pull up the numbers, but I don't recall them off the top of my head. But basically, they're roughly doubled from prior year, and we'll see a similar nominal increase next year to get them up to market rates. Per the tanning beds, I hadn't been instructed anything from Total Works, so we're going with what they provided.
Does administration have a recommendation in that regard with regard to the tanning beds? Councillor Frederickson makes a good point.
Thank you, Council. Yes, indeed, that's an oversight on our part, so my bad. The tanning bed has been decommissioned at the end of March, so While the previous one still allowed the sale of packages, we finished and decommissioned that at the end of March.
So it'll be
So it could be
removed from
removed.
the schedule?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What was the other thing? Cemetery.
I believe there was increases in last year's fee schedule.
Okay.
Current years were just held in line.
All right, do we have anything further? Councillor Wheeler? No? Oh, okay. All right. Mr. Dibbam, we don't need an amendment or any such thing to just authorize the administrative removal of the tanning beds from the fee schedule, do we?
No, Mr. Mayor, given that the decommissioning happened within the current fiscal year, we can leave the schedule as is. If we do not have the service, we, of course, will not be levying fees for the provision of a non-service. And as we move to update for the 2017 interim budget, then we will have the necessary deletions in place.
Very good. Thank you. All right, all in favor? That is carried. Councillor Schuler, item 8.2.
Thank you, Your Worship. As a municipality accredited by Municipal Affairs in the building discipline, the town of Drayton Valley is required to have a quality management plan in place. The QMP establishes the scope and administration of building inspection services, as well as establishing a standard of service with respect to the enforcement of the building discipline. This document has been prepared in cooperation with Alberta Safety Codes Council, the body responsible for overseeing administration of the QMP, and has received their consent to proceed to Council for approval. Upon approval of the attached QMP, the existing QMP document originally adopted in February 2009 will be replaced. I therefore move that Council approve the quality management plan for building discipline as presented.
Thank you, Councillor Schuler. Any discussion on this motion? Councillor Frederickson.
Not a discussion, I just had a question. How does this work into all of the things, because it talks about permitting, et cetera? Like, you can just give me kind of does this trickle down into our permit process or policy? Yeah.
Chandra.
Good morning. This is what allows us to issue building permits. To have that accreditation, we have to get that through municipal affairs. So we have to have this document in place in order to be authorized to issue those permits.
Thank you. Any further questions? All right. All in favor? That is carried. Item 8.3, Councillor Wheeler, just the one.
I guess so. The terms of reference for the Sustainability Committee have been reviewed by the committee during the meeting on March 21st, 2016 and April 25th, 2016. Attached is the revised terms of reference for Council's review and consideration, which the committee is recommending be adopted by Council to replace the existing terms of reference. Therefore, I move that Council approve the attached terms of reference for the Sustainability Committee as presented.
Thank you, Councillor Wheeler. Any discussion on this motion? All right. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. 8.4, Councillor Bossert. 8.3 was just completed. It's the 2016-02F, second and third reading of the monthly tax payment plan bylaw.
The proposed tax installment payment plan program and associated documents have been prepared by administration at the direction of council. This program offers automatic withdrawal of payments through the taxpayer's financial institution towards their property tax account with the town of Drayton Valley. First reading of bylaw 2016-02F occurred during the March 30th, 2016 regular meeting of council. Following the first reading, administration made a correction to the document to change the withdrawal date from the last business day of each month to the first day of each business month. This was required as the May tax payment must be reflected on the property tax notice that will be mailed after the withdrawal has been made. Should council give second and third reading, administration will ensure proper notice and advertising of the program is distributed to the public for the year for the 2016 tax year. Therefore, I move that council give second reading to the attached tax installment payment program bylaw 2016-02F as amended.
Thank you, Councillor Bossert. Any discussion on this motion? I will point out that in the agenda package on page 106, it shows agenda item 8.3. It is actually 8.4 as indicated on the agenda. So with that, no discussion on the motion. All in favor? That is carried. Councillor Bossert.
I move that council give third and final reading to the attached tax installment payment plan bylaw 2016-02F as amended.
Thank you, Councillor Bossert. Any discussion? All right, all in favor? That is carried. Item 8.5, Councillor Frederickson, Traffic Advisory Committee, appointment of members at large.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Traffic Advisory Committee, established under the Traffic Advisory Committee Terms of Reference, states that this committee will be comprised of administration members and 3 members of the community who will serve a 2-year term. The town currently has 1 member at large, Cynthia Gilroy. The town has received 6 applications for the position available. The committee requires only 2 members of the community at large to be appointed to the committee. So I do 2 separate motions here.
Yes.
Okay, I move that council appoint Sheldon Fusen to the Traffic Advisory Committee for a 2-year term to expire October 31st, 2018.
Thank you, Councillor Frederickson. Any discussion on this motion? All right, all in favor? That is carried. Councillor Frederickson.
I move that council appoints Eric Felker to the Traffic Advisory Committee for a 2-year term to expire October 31st, 2018.
Thank you. Any discussion on this motion? Yeah, Aaron Felker, right. Any discussion? All right, all in favor? That is carried. And on behalf of council, I'd like to issue our thanks for all those interested in serving on the committee. Madam Secretary, we will be sending letters, of course, to the other applicants and advising them of any vacancies on any other boards or committees that we might have. Because when people step forward, we want to be able to use their skills and abilities. Thanks very much. At this time, I'm going to call a break, and we'll reconvene in about 10 minutes. Item 9.0, Department Reports, Engineering and Development. Ron Fraser. Or hold on a second. No, we have Shahid's ahead of you. Planning and Development Manager Shahid. Welcome.
Thanks. Good morning, Mr. Mayor, Council, Administration, everyone. Since last council meeting, April 20, Planning and Development has approved 7 development permits and 10 business licenses. 7 development permits include 5 residential and 2 commercial. 2 commercials are for installation of signages, and out of 5 residential development permits, 3 are for deck, and 4th one is for demolition and rebuild detached garage, and the 5th one is for front porch. For the business licenses, out of 10 business licenses, 8 are new, and 2 are for change of ownership, as you can see in your handout. And 8 business licenses include Mixim Incorporation, that's for street sweeping, and TB traffic signal and lightings, and Western Noise Control is for supply and installation of acoustic products, and Summit Brew Constructions, this is for project managers and constructions. Alberta Pipe Inspections Limited, this is for sewage pipe inspection and cleaning. And Paddle River Hawk and Trowel, this is for cement stucco repair. And Air Solution Corporation, this is for hair braiding and products. And 2 change of ownerships includes Call Steaks House and Lounge. This is restaurant and lounge. And TLC Pet Grooming and Daycare. That's all for report today.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions of council? Councilor Bossert?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Of these new businesses, I see that, excuse me, they're all non-local, out of town. Does that mean they're new businesses coming into town, or they're just businesses that are going to be providing a service to the community, but not having a business in town, actually?
It's been that we have a business owners here, but they're hiring contractor from outside of our non-local residents. So these are the contract basically from Edmonton and British Columbia.
Anything further? Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Ron Fraser, Engineers Report.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So as Denny was discussing, Public Works staff have been very heavily involved with the Regional Emergency Operations Center with respect to the Fort McMurray fire. They've been putting up signage and been heavily involved in installing the ATCO trailers over by the rodeo grounds for the evacuees. Additionally, we got a call out from the Alberta Public Works Association for utility operators, equipment operators, or other staff that would be interested in supplying help to the Fort McMurray effort if required. So we have passed on a list of operators and so forth and staff, and we did get a lot of participation. We got about 13 people volunteering, so that was very good. So far, we haven't had any specific call-outs, but they do have the information. Of recent note, the construction of electrical installations at the open space park has been completed and landscaping is underway. Our utilities section replaced the deficient pump at the reservoir, and they also ordered a new pump, one of 3 for the in total for the raw water intake. So one of them was acting up, so they replaced it, or will be replacing it. 43rd Avenue construction by Urban Dirt Works is expected to recommence on June 1st. They'll be undertaking the subgrade preparation, base course, curb and gutter, first lift of asphalt, and landscaping this year. And that work should be complete by August. And the second lift of asphalt will be done next year. We're also working towards getting our capital projects ready for the new capital projects for 2016. We've been working closely with the county and our consultant with respect to the trails up at the Northwest Quadrant, funded as part of the Alberta Community Partnership Grant. SCC has completed their design work and is presently preparing their tender for the completion of the water retention pond at the CETC. We're continuing with reviewing the design options and cost life cycle analysis for twinning or lining of the south sanitary trunk line. As well, we have been undertaking major flushing and clean out operations on the southwest leg of the existing sanitary trunk line. This has involved extensive use of rig mats, several flushing trucks, contracted and town staff. We've been quite concerned because there's a lot of materials that are in the main line, and we will be following up using cameras and so forth to try to find the source of this and discuss with whoever is putting this stuff into the system, because there's an awful lot of rags that are just blocking everything up, and it's causing ongoing costs and problems. We working on finalizing the long-range capital plan for our wastewater storm infrastructure with our consultant ISL in Edmonton. based on some of our latest information and options with respect to the Poplar Ridge Reservoir and so forth. We reviewed the finalization of the 50th Street Area Structure Plan with SEC, so that should be completed shortly. I attended a biomass co-firing workshop in Edmonton, which identified the possibilities of producing wood-burning pellets and making electricity and potentially heat for businesses in the BioMile area. We've sent Bree Hartman, one of our utility operators, to a chlorine workshop. Sonia Rigglesworth attended an asset management training session that I heard was very good in Edmonton. And Jen Martin attended some planning and development training. We are currently working with Parkway and internal staff to commission the PRVs which were installed last fall. There has been some problem with some of the parts or the connecting parts, so they have to order some parts to make it work. It is expected, however, that they should be up and running and commissioned within about a month. Additionally, Parkway is in the process of cleaning up the road surface and sidewalks in the affected locations, which were left in kind of a rough state last year with the gravel and so forth. It's coming out. Those repairs, including asphalt, concrete, etc., within the next 1 to 2 months should be complete. They still have to wait for provision of asphalt and so forth. The line painting work in town has been awarded to Marshall Lines out of Cardston, Alberta. They are expected to start early next week. In the meantime, Public Works staff have been painting some of the crosswalks in town and stop bars. As mentioned previously, this week is the start of our it's our semi-annual spring cleanup, I should say, our spring cleanup campaign, and that work is to be complete by this Friday. Next week is Public Works with council participation on May 19th and a noon barbecue at the West Yard facility on Friday the 20th. And lastly, with respect to the dust control work, the town jointly secured a supply of MG30, which is a calcium and magnesium-based dust suppressant, which is supposed to be very good. And we will begin doing the dust control work in our sections, our gravel roads, involving hauling gravel, blading, spraying, reblading, and packing. And it's anticipated the work should take 2 or 3 days. And that should be done next week. And that's my report.
Right. I have just a question or more of a comment with regard to your having identified blockages in the sewage system. You were talking about trying to find out the source. Perhaps there's an appropriate or there's an opportunity here for some targeted education towards what we think is the source, and in the hopes that we don't incur major expenditure because of something that can be avoided. So, any other questions, comments? Ron? Okay. Councillor Bossert, you got something?
I'm not sure whether this would be Ron or Shahid, but there's a building down across from Subway, was the old glass and old tire shop. Just wondering if there is a timeline on the demolition of that building, as there is new construction along 50th there too. It would be nice to see old buildings pulled down that are not at all being able to be reused. So wondered if there was a timeline on that destruction.
Through Chair, Councillor Bossert, right now I don't have that information, but I'll collect and get back to you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anything further? Okay, community services and FCSS. Do we have anything? Annette, of course, has been in and out of the room this morning associated with emergency social services provision, but...
No, Mr. Mayor. Both Ms. Dreesen and Chief Thompson are currently on a call with the Provincial Operations Center. So unfortunately, they had to step away from council proceedings right now. So with your indulgence, I think there was one item that Ms. Dreesen had passed on to Councillor Nadeau for her report, and we can either handle that now or within her reporting. If that's sufficient.
All right, Councillor Nadeau has something for us now.
Thank you. It's, just want to talk about, we're so proud and excited to share with you that Samantha Strauss has received her Shine Award from Northwest College on Tuesday, May 10th. Samantha has been an employee with the Early Childhood Development Center since 2010. She, alongside 9 other full-time staff at the center, have been working diligently to finish their Level 2 Early Childhood Diploma. Sam was recognized Tuesday for her exemplary manner in supporting her fellow team members in her ongoing learning. Quotes from her instructors shared at the awards are Samantha is a student who has worked hard as a distant student, showing leadership in her community as she pursues an early learning and child care certificate. She is a helpful member of her cohort and instrumental in encouraging her fellow learners. She is a key piece of the puzzle in making Drayton Valley students successful. So the Shine Awards, each year Norquest faculty, staff, and students groups rally together to fundraise in support of the Shine Awards. Recipients of the Shine Awards are recognized as exceptional students who inspire others through their effort, attitude, and commitment to education. So we want to, our congratulations to Samantha at ECDC.
Yes, outstanding. So this is just this is the third one this morning. Opportunity to celebrate our successes. So somebody said the words recently, and now we're doing it. So that's great. And congratulations to Samantha, and a job well done. All right, we will carry on with reports. 9.3, Economic Development. Eric Burton.
Good morning.
Morning.
So just a few brief items to touch on. First of all, this week the International Economic Development Council has designated as Economic Development Week. And so in the spirit of Economic Development Week, I want to highlight some of the efforts that of economic developers that have a positive impact in our community. First and foremost, the Economic Development Committee here, Councillors Nadeau and Long, as well as your worship, providing a lot of great vision and laying a foundation for community economic development here in Drayton Valley. The CETC, Manny, Christina, and Lori, providing the leadership. I think the county, Wanda, does a tremendous job, and we work closely with her. And there's an economic development roundtable that is held across the region where municipalities, community futures, as well as the government come together to share notes on what's happening across the region. I think that's a good example of how we build capacity together. And that's led by the Economic Development and Trade Department, in particular Mark Vandenberg. Also, the Community Futures provides leadership, and I also want to mention the Economic Developers of Alberta, and in particular, they have begun mobilizing support from the economic development community for Fort McMurray. I had a chance to work with both in Slave Lake and in High River, and Economic Developers of Alberta have developed a toolkit to support economic development during disaster relief. And so I want to applaud the work that they're doing in rallying the professional community in support of Fort McMurray at this time. I also want to mention that the Chamber hosted an open house for people looking to start businesses 2 weeks ago, and there was a number of local residents that came out to get information. They got information on access to resources, grants and support for job creation and retention. And I think it was a good effort, and I look forward to working with the Chamber to continue to build momentum and strengthen the important role they play in the community. To that effect, I have been working with a number of the new executive. They've been looking for some advice on their financials and as well as their bylaws. So I think that's exciting to see the capacity building within the volunteer board. I also want to mention, last week, my partner Amanda and I finished a program at Simon Fraser University. It was Community Economic Development. It was a fabulous program that started last fall, and it was a chance for my partner to cut her teeth in community economic development, and she used the opportunity throughout the courses, both last fall, and there's been classes every Wednesday, and she's been using the opportunity to you do case studies on Drayton Valley. So she did a case study on the CETC, but has also been doing some work on the prospect of a tiny house community and building a business case for it and vetting it with other professionals in the field. So it's been an exciting course. We finished it up last week in Vancouver, and as part of it we had a chance to learn about different models of businesses, in particular social enterprises as well as co-ops, and how they're good at mobilizing the community to achieve both community ends as well as some business ends. And I could go a long time into that, but as coming out of that, there was a social innovation challenge where students got to pitch a proposal or a project, and I was lucky enough to win that social innovation challenge for a project to establish standards in community economic development across Canada. So the idea is similar to a LEAD program, where instead of designating a professional and then trusting them from then on that they're going to do great work, it's also being able to demonstrate excellence in the projects that you're doing. So they've asked me to attend a conference coming up in Montreal next week to work with the Canadian Community Economic Development Network in moving that forward, and received $2,000 to be able to travel there to do that. And finally, I'm very pleased and humbled to say that that Amanda and I won an award for leadership from Simon Fraser University for walking the talk. So that was really exciting to get some recognition from our peers, but it's also some indication of the way that we're trying to move things forward in the field of community economic development, and we hope to build off of this. And the last thing I want to mention about this is that Drayton Valley is coming up everywhere. So not only did we utilize a lot of the great work that you're doing as part of our course material, we also, one of our instructors is working in Drayton Valley on a community energy project. So we have the leaders in the industry are really rallying around Drayton Valley, but also my partner's now taking a program at University of Calgary, and sure enough, the BioMile is featured as one of the best practices in economic development. So, this is another testament to the leadership that you've provided in economic development, and communities across Alberta and Canada are taking notice and trying to learn from your example. So that's my report for today.
Well, congratulations to you, Eric. This kind of looks staged a bit. It looks like we've been saving things up to recognize and congratulate individuals this morning, but well done. And thank you for your report. Were there any questions, comments? Councillor Neto.
I just want to say congratulations. That's the first I heard of it. So congratulations again. And I think it's clear we have rock star staff throughout the day. Like, really. So congratulations, and our congratulations to your partner as well. And we look forward to hearing more about what you are able to bring back from next week.
Thank you. Thanks very much. All right. 9.4, emergency services. I don't think we have emergency services. We kind of heard what the latest emergency entails. And now we have Tyler Russell, Communications and Marketing.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. Oh, there we go. Now you can hear me. Good morning. This is my report for all of you this morning. Branding on schedule right now. I just wanted to say a big thank you to the committee for keeping us on schedule and keeping me on schedule to be able to make sure that things are getting done. Also, our website right now, we are fine on our website, but now with our app, we're having problems to be able to make sure that our events calendar is displaying properly. So one thing drops and the other thing goes, so we are consistently working on that one right now. So I appreciate your patience. We're trying to get this done and getting it done right. Also, our app has over 1,000 downloads, and we keep getting more as people start showing up in our community with our evacuees. So we're trying to be able to make sure the information is current and up to date on that so that they can have information on our website. Speaking of the website, we've been trying to keep it as current and as up to date as we possibly can so that we can drive the evacuees to our website to have as much of the information as we can provide them in a timely manner that we have it. So yeah, we're trying to be able to get that updated as soon as possible. Also, we have our tax information rollout sheet. People saw that one. It's nice and glossy. There's also information on it as well. Thank you so much for that. Also, in the coming weeks ahead, we are looking at our annual reports, getting ready to roll that out in June, and thank you to all the departments for providing information to us, and I will be calling upon the councillors and mayor for information as well. And our TIP program, I know it was approved this morning, so we will be rolling out information on that to the public so that they are aware as to what is going on through our social media, also our website, and also in stuffing letters. And I want to say a big thank you to our administration for helping us stuff letters. There are over 3,000 of them that need to be stuffed to be able to get the information out there, and we do appreciate it.
All right, thanks very much. Councillor Bossert.
Sorry, I'm a little chatty today. I wanted to say that I was recently on our town website looking up some information and comparing it to another community. And I was looking to see what we had for community mapping as far as recreation and facilities in our community, which in turn would help our evacuees know what's going on in our community, but it also helps all the newcomers, whether they're evacuees or not. And I just wanted to say what I was easily able to find on the website is excellent. What I was looking for, what I was hoping to see there, was there. Great explanations and descriptions of our facilities, how to contact, how to get there. So I think we rivaled the community who I was comparing us to. And I just want to say the website is looking good, and it's, to me anyway, very easy to access the information I was looking for. So thumbs up on that. It's a big improvement from some years ago.
All right, anything else? All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
And the CAO report, Mr. Dibben.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, Council. Just briefly touch on a few things, some of which have been mentioned in far more detail, but since the last council meeting and special council meeting, really 3 items to focus on. One, of course, is now with budget being passed, we are now full on into implementation of our program, both capital and operating. You heard Ron's comments on some of the capital plan elements and aspects now going forward. Looking at those, but also looking at those, as Council indicated, during the budget process with a critical eye in ensuring that we are looking at and trying to take advantage of the best cost pricing, local vendors where possible, other types of elements to not only get the works and projects undertaken that Council has set as priorities, but doing it so in a fashion that provides the biggest bang for the buck and the best benefit for the local community as well. I hesitate to say this, but for Kevin and his staff, that we are also now turning our attention to the next budget year as well, as we have to get into the initial assumptions and planning for budget 2017 in the month of June, engaging with council on some of those initial discussions, and then working to ensure a streamlined and tactical approach to this element going forward to provide council timely information and parameters as it makes its decisions going forward as well. I appreciated Denny's comments and also council's comments as it relates to matters related to wildfires and the evacuation of Fort McMurray, and particularly reflect on the mayor's comments about the protracted nature of what this will surely turn out to be, reflecting back on my own personal involvement from a provincial level with Slave Lake wildfires in 2011. And we have been talking about this internally with the communications, the coordination center staff, is that this is very much a marathon, not a sprint. And there will be very many shades and dimensions of the situation as reality starts to hit home, and it will for affected persons in different timelines and in different ways. And this will not be at the same time, and it will challenge, I think, not only them and their loved ones and direct family members, but truly all of those in the 13 centers around the province and really elsewhere as well, as the reality of what actually has happened becomes real, and timelines of trying to resume what a normal life will be. And it will be different than what it was before for many of the affected persons, as well as the community of Fort McMurray itself. And so part of that as well is, as you've seen today, this is a prime issue of paramountcy for a number of our staff, including some staff in the county and others as well. But we're also very diligent about making sure that we are taking care of our community, our needs, as it relates to other matters, but also human needs as well. And Denny didn't say it, but in fact, all of administration in these matters works for him, including myself. And it's a matter of ensuring that they know that it's a matter of dealing with the provincial officials, doing what is needed, seeking guidance, direction in a timely fashion, getting it to act appropriately, but there are also circumstances that arise where they have to act. And they know that they are acting with my full confidence, as I know they are acting with council's full confidence in meeting the needs of those affected. And then we will work with our partners at the provincial government to ensure that all that needs to be reconciled and taken care of does happen in the appropriate fashion, but it does not impact the needs of those who have been affected. And lastly, just an update on our Section 690 application with the MGB. The preliminary hearing date has been scheduled for May the 24th. The county and ourselves have agreed upon mediators for a parallel process to undertake, and we're just working on dates as to when that will commence. And so we will be proceeding on those matters in as expeditious as fashion as possible. Our respective calendars around mediation are ours to set. The processes of the MGB and supporting council does have an impact in the timeliness of, if we do proceed to a formal MGB process, what that will be, but that could extend for several weeks, if not months. And so we will keep council apprised as develops forward through that. And so with that, Mr. Mayor, I conclude my remarks.
Thank you very much. Were there any questions of Mr. Dibben? Councillor Frederickson.
Not necessarily a question, just a comment that I do appreciate you stretching the intermunicipal development plan to its limits and really holding both municipalities accountable as we relate to one another. So I do appreciate that.
All right. Council reports. Councillor Nadeau.
I do not have a lot to report, as I reported everything at our last governance and priority meeting, so I don't feel I need to really reiterate again. But I do want to just say thank you for all the support. I had put my name forward to volunteer, and I was told that they're inundated with volunteers, so I think that's a good problem to have in a community. And we're on a list, though, but I appreciate everything that's been going on. I'm so impressed with our staff. Today has been a really great day in terms of that, and I just want to give a shout out to Miss Joanne's School of Dance. As I had said that we just went to a dance tournament. There was over 15 communities there, hundreds and hundreds of routines, and Miss Joanne's had 2 routines selected in the top 8 of the entire competition. So that just a shout out to our local dancers on the great work that they did. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Long.
Thank you. I will also be brief. Fairly quiet couple of weeks here. I was away in Red Deer was it just last week? It seems longer, for Assessment Review Board training, and I passed. So if anybody has any questions about the, well, perhaps not, but contact the mayor. The only other things of interest, I think, since then was last Thursday, I think, in this very room we had the Battle of the Books. I think the 26th annual now Battle of the Books. This is elementary school kids from a couple of grades come in and answer questions on a number of books that they've read during the year. Fierce competition and a lot of fun. If you ever get a chance to come, I would recommend stopping by and learning some stuff. And the only other thing of interest is the triathlon, but since we're celebrating success, I won't mention anymore.
Very good. Councillor Schuler.
Thank you. I'm going to keep with this tradition. I was away for last week, so I really don't have a whole lot to report. I just want to echo a few comments on, thank yous going out to our staff for the fantastic work they've been doing with not only all the awards that they have been winning that we just don't always hear about. And it just goes to show how great of staff that we do have. So just want to say thank you to everyone for the hard work that they've been putting in, not only in the general operations of the town, but also with the evacuees from Fort McMurray, and my prayers and wishes go out to all the people that have been displaced, and hope that they can get home soon and get back to some sort of normalcy in their life again. That's my report.
Thank you very much. Councillor Wheeler.
Thank you. I definitely was a busy month in terms of volunteering. There was lots going on with the triathlon and the NASP and the Kitten Festival and reading week we had at the schools. I was in reading at 2 different schools a couple of times, and it was really neat. All the teachers really stressed how we all learn from each other, whether it's us learning from the students or them learning from us, or things going on, and just encouraging adults to be out in the community more. And I thought, yeah, that's a good message that we could all be sharing a lot more. So one of the schools has submitted a GHG reduction to the province plan that they're going to work on turning off the lights. So they're going to be keeping them off in their class as much as they can. They're also going to look at having a group that will be kind of hallway monitors. When recess happens, they go around the halls, make sure all the classrooms turned off their lights. So it'll be till the end of the month before they hear back if they won, but I thought it's really neat to see the kids being involved in these and talking about, and they were all explaining to me what it was and how it happens and what they can do about it, and still recognizing the community that we live in and support it, but there's still things we can all do. So it was good to see. Our physician recruitment committee has our AGM coming up the 6th of June, so if there's anyone who wants to join a cool committee, we're always looking for members. And then our Headwaters had a meeting, and we had a fabulous presentation from David Campbell at Forecorp. They're a company who have taken LiDAR, which reads the elevation of the ground levels, and does mapping, and they build trail systems. So I thought I definitely got their business card I can pass on to our administration to connect, but the work they can do to scale down, they basically take a section of land, wherever you want it to be, and then they have scales of, if you don't want to go through any water, no streams, if you don't want to create bridges, you put that as a risk. If you don't want to go up any elevation, you want to go as flat as possible. So they will take the picture, and the map goes like this is the quickest route, but if you want to go around the water, you actually have to go like this. And if water is maybe okay, but you don't want to do any elevation, you have to go like this. All the options were amazing, and to be able just to put them in and have the most simplest, cost-effective way to get through a trail, I thought would be very useful. So, yeah, it was a good day. Other than that, we're still working on our tour coming up, hopefully with the Minister of Environment in August, and yeah, moving forward. Other than that, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Councillor Bossert.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've also had a number of opportunities to be out in the community, just visiting with classrooms, things like that. April 29th, we had our first annual chili cook-off, which was very well attended in the community, a lot of fun, And it was a good timing for that the chili cook-off, hoping that next year they'll move it into make some changes so that the vendors are included in that, the vendors for the rodeo, but it was a lot of fun. May 2nd, I was at the Homelessness and Poverty Reduction Team meeting, where we are starting to review our terms of reference going forward, and as Lola presented earlier today, we had a year-end report for the work that the MAP program and the Homelessness and Poverty Reduction Team have been doing for the year. May 3rd, I met with my mentee, Autumn, for probably still have one more visit with her, but have been enjoying getting to know her and seeing what she has learned from our program. So it's very helpful to know that even though this is the first go-round of this mentee program, that some of the young ladies are really benefiting from it and enjoying it. On May 5th, I was able to go into St. Anthony's and read to the grade 5 class and to the kindergarten class, and enjoyed reading to both groups of children. The grade 5s were very interested in learning about what counselors do and how counsel functions on a higher level. And so I was able to explain some of what we do to them. And then the little kindergartners, after having read some very adorable stories to them, were also interested in what the government does, because they assumed that I was the government, and had to explain to them that there's many different levels of government, and that I'm just part of a team here in Drayton Valley, and we make decisions on a local basis for our community, and that there were other levels of people that also are responsible for our province and our country. So very much enjoyed that. Reminded me of my days as a kindergarten teacher way back when. On May 6th, I attended the Rotary Community Barbecue. Rotary did a great job in setting up a barbecue at the Rotary Park just for anybody who wanted to come out. And I imagine they had probably close to 200 people show up that night, including some of the evacuees that were early arrivals in the community. Wonderful weather for it, and people just sitting around visiting and enjoying the good weather and the free food. So thumbs up to the Rotary Club for doing that. I understand they're hoping to do that now on a monthly basis through the summer. On May 7th, with the mayor, I attended the El Dorado Elementary 100th anniversary celebration, and was wonderful to see some of the teachers, administrators, principals, and students from the school that attended even way back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and to hear the history of the physical school itself and how this community was actually built around that school, because it preceded, the El Dorado School preceded this community by more than 40 years. They were here in 1915. So it was a very interesting afternoon, and I was very glad to be part of it. Events coming up on May 14th, we are having the Green Energy Forum at the Clean Energy and Technology Center at 1 o'clock. On May 18th, the Multicultural Association is hosting a newcomers dinner, which they host every second year. And this dinner is intended for all newcomers to the community, whether it's an immigrant, a refugee, or a newcomer from even Fort McMurray. All people that want to be involved or feel like they want to gather with other newcomers to the community are welcome to attend. It will be at the Curling Lounge at the Omniplex at 5:30 on into the evening. I'm sure it'll go quite late because there's always lots of great food and great entertainment. And then on May 20th, a number of council members will be involved with Public Works. I believe I'm actually shoveling asphalt for the first time in my life, so looking forward to that, and they're also having a barbecue on that day. My congratulations also go out to our staff and administration who have broken the record for extending care and love to those in our community that have needed it most. I have never been more proud of my community for how we've been able to accommodate 250 people in less than a week, and to take care of their needs moving forward as new residents of this community. So thank you to everybody in the public and in the public sector who have gone above and beyond their job descriptions to show off what this community can offer to those that are in the most vulnerable and disrupted time in their lives. And we look forward to the day when those that choose to return back to their home are more than able to do that, and they have our full support here through council and through our community. So thank you to all those that have been involved with that. And that's my report.
Thank you, Councillor Bossert. Councillor Frederickson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I attended the Sustainability Committee meeting several weeks ago in place of Councillor Schuler, and it was it's nice filling in sometimes on other committees, because I was saying you get to kind of sample what they're about when we come up with our other org meetings. So there's a lot happening with the Sustainability Committee, and it really ties in nicely with our Waste Management Committee, as well as some of the other committees that are happening around the table. I, too, got an opportunity to go into St. Anthony's and Evergreen School and read for Education Week, and it was a charming experience. It does remind me of also being back in the school, and the kids were very interested in what you do. And one of them, it was grade 1 class at St. Anthony's, I'd asked, does anybody know what a counselor is? And somebody had put up their hand and said, you guys talk about money, don't you? And so it kind of opened up where we talked about the parks and the pools and things that we do make decisions where we put community money. So it was a good conversation. I had my first experience on the council triathlon team, and I thought we did pretty good considering how much
baggage we had?
I was thinking how much practice we had leading up, because I know I hadn't been in the pool for a bit, and I know you've been on your spin cycle, but I'm not sure you've really been on the bicycle all that much. So it was good, and a last-minute switcheroo between our cyclists and our runners, so that's, I thought we did all right. It was a beautiful day, and I loved the setup this year, because they had set up the configuration differently last year from the previous years, and this year was different again, and I really quite liked the transition zone where it was, and I told the organizers that. It was nice. It gave some liveliness to the back of where the park was, and it also made it was a nice seamless transition between the front and the back. Also, just to make a comment, so I have a couple cousin-in-laws that are on the rodeo circuit, and I absolutely don't know anything about rodeo, so they were out for the pro rodeo, and I was blown away because I didn't realize the caliber that was coming into town. So this particular, there's brothers, but one of them was actually one of the winners of in the CFR for Saddle Bronc that he does, and he's also qualified the Calgary Stampede, and he was out here for our pro rodeo doing the circuit. He is heading down to the States following this. But he was trying to explain to me how the whole rodeo point system and everything works, which just blew my mind. But yeah, I didn't realize the caliber that came through, so hats off to those organizers for bringing that event. We're talking, national level riders and stuff coming to Drayton Valley, so that's awesome. And that's my report.
Thank you. I had the honor to open the pro rodeo, and I have no rodeo roots whatsoever, but it's really entertaining, and it's part of our heritage as Albertans. And it's a great opportunity to see a high caliber event like that in our community. For, I think, the third year running, something like that. Second, third year? Yeah, well, it will be third year next year. I won't go into a big, long list of things I've said and done over the last couple of weeks. But I do want to comment on the triathlon. Many thanks to the organizers, the many volunteers, and of course the participants and the community who observed that spectacle of athleticism. And thanks so much to my teammates, Councillors Frederickson and Long, for picking up the slack in what was probably not my best time out on the bike. But there was a wicked headwind both ways. And, in any event. So the people that Councillor Wheeler was talking about who can level out a track and that sort of thing, I'd like to get them to work on the triathlon next year. My time would improve considerably. The other thing I wanted to comment on is just to express on behalf of council our sincere appreciation and admiration for our community who have in the past week stepped up to volunteer in ways the likes of which most of us never have to experience, but have done so with dignity, enthusiasm, and pride, and have embraced our 255-odd Fort McMurray evacuees. They are, as was said earlier this morning, our evacuees. They are part of our community for as long as they are here. I want to compliment our administration and our Emergency Coordination Center in particular for adapting on an hourly basis over the past week to changing circumstances. That is not easy. Having spent a short amount of time in logistics in the Canadian Army, I can tell you that logistics is a thankless job, but it's absolutely critical to getting the work of your organization done and to getting people's needs met. And that is what our Emergency Coordination Center is doing. And they are doing it very well with considerable efficiency. Thank you so much to the administration, to the team, to the community, and to our evacuees from Fort McMurray. Welcome to Drayton Valley. With that, 11.0 information items. We have 11.1, the Economic Development Committee meeting notes of April 2016, the Star Catholic Board highlights April 2016, the Sustainability Committee meeting notes of February and March 2016, Brazeau Seniors Foundation minutes of March 2016, Councillor Wheeler's conference report from the Smart City Alliance, April 2016, Councillor Natto's conference report from the Economic Developers of Alberta Conference, April 2016, and the Child Care Operational Board minutes of February 16th, 2016. Could I get a motion to receive those items as information, please? Councillor Frederickson, all in favor? That is carried. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Councillor Schuler, all in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much.